Any airstrike by the Israeli Air Force on Lebanon will inevitably draw a response, but in a suitable and proportionate way, because we want to serve the purpose of protecting our country.
All right, let's get more from Khalil Jahshan, who is the Executive Director over at the Arab Center. He joins me now live from Washington. Good to have you on the show, Khalil. Is Hasan Nasrallah basically saying, look, Lebanon may be busy with some problems, big problems, but don't miscalculate, don't underestimate us?
Definitely. I mean, these moves tend to be more political than military in nature in terms of their purposes. So the message is very clear. We're here to stay. And despite of our ongoing domestic problems, economic and political, do not take us for granted. It is negotiating by other means, in other words.
Okay. Do you think that Israel's response to these rocket attacks by Hezbollah could put the border with Lebanon in the same situation as with the Gaza border?
It could. And of course, what's more ominous is not just the Gaza border. What's more ominous is going back to earlier confrontation between Israel and Hezbollah in terms of Lebanese history. Those wars, were much more ominous than whatever took place in recent years in Gaza. I doubt that either side is ready, equipped, or willing to engage fully, just like they did in the past, a few years back. But who knows? A small mistake here and there could deteriorate. The situation is very tense. There is no state, so to speak of, in Lebanon. And simply appealing, like the U.S. does, to the Lebanese army to take control of its south. Apparently, whoever issued that statement hasn't kept up with news in Lebanon over the past couple of years.
Khalil, there is another country that plays an important role here. Hezbollah's Deputy Secretary Naim Qassem was in Tehran. There is a new president there. How do you think this will affect the situation on the ground?
I mean, Tehran's policy is based on its own perception of its own national interest. It doesn't serve Lebanese national interest. I think most of the Lebanese I know are not happy with these developments. It is easy to send some rockets on Israel, whether on behalf of Lebanese groups or on behalf of Iran. But the question for the Lebanese is who's going to be paying the price in case Israel retaliates? And is Lebanon capable of absorbing a strike as it did in the past?
A non-existent government in Lebanon, a crippled economy, an ongoing coronavirus pandemic. I mean, could Lebanon afford something like this?
Absolutely not. And you could see that tension emerging in at least a couple of spots the last few days, local Lebanese communities objecting to these rockets or missiles being fired from their turfs, from their own area, because they know the Israelis will retaliate to hit the exact source of these attacks. And they do not feel that they can sustain, if you will, the damage from counterattacks.
All right. Khalil Jahshan, thank you very much for joining us. I do appreciate the analysis.